All right, we are back with insider betting. There is no UFC today, so today we're going to cover Anthony Joshua's fight with Daniel Dubois this weekend. We're also going to be talking about UFC 306 and the Sphere. I was there live. I'm going to share some of my thoughts, what I saw there. And UFC 307 is coming up a lot quicker than people think. And I'm actually excited for it, even though the general public doesn't seem to be as excited as me. So we'll talk all about all that in a second. First things first, Jesse, how are we doing today, brother?
I'm doing great. I have two things. First thing, I'm very jealous of your time at the Sphere. It looked awesome. It was an incredible event. Great card up until like the co-main, the main event. But I think we kind of knew that was possible, that was going to happen. UFC kind of took a risk with those bookings because the Sphere really carried the event. You know, like that was the star of the show, obviously.
Yeah.
So that maintained, I was watching it on pay-per-view and that maintained my attention. I didn't need the fights to be amazing in order to be sort of just like mesmerized by what I was watching. Two, I'm very excited for 307 as well. In fact, I actually have a little video about that coming out about Khalil Roundtree, which should be coming out in like a week or two.
Nice.
I did a little piece on him and why you should be excited for him as potential champion. So I'm looking forward to that. So yeah, happy to be here with you.
Yeah. No, I think with UFC 307, you just have a lot more potential for excitement. Let's put it that way.
I'm sorry, say that again. You went out for a second.
I was saying with UFC 307, I think there's a lot of potential for like excitement in the fights.
Oh yeah.
And yeah, no, I think it's gonna be great. We didn't have that much excitement. The Esteban Ribovic's fight with Daniel Zellhuber, that was my favorite of the night. I think a lot of people would agree, but we'll touch on it in a second. Daniel Dubois.
That was fight of the night, though. That was fight of the night. I believe they got 50K, I think, right?
I don't know. I thought there was I forget her name, but the girl who got cut up real bad.
Aldana.
Yeah. I thought that she got fight of the night. Was it Aldana? Yeah, it was. No.
Question. I'm gonna look this up right now.
Yeah, no, I think it was the chick fight before. And I should remember because I was there. But
yeah, I don't actually know. It's a good question. Let us know in the comments because I forget what it was.
It was Aldana. You're right. It was Irene Aldana. But yeah,
right.
that fight was that fight was fun. I think that one got fight of the night, or they got a bonus, and I think Joshua Van and Edgar Chairez got a bonus as well. I could be wrong.
Zellhuber versus Ribovic did win fight of the night.
It did? Okay, cool.
Yeah,
cool.
It did.
Nice. So yeah, but anyway, we'll touch on that in a second. Daniel Dubois, Anthony Joshua. We hate covering boxing because boxing typically sucks to cover because there's no good matchups like ever. But this one actually is somewhat decent. It looks like. I don't know much about Daniel Dubois, but he is ranked number 5 in the world, while Anthony Joshua is number 2 in the world, with Alexander Usyk being number 1. Both guys have recent losses to Usyk. Daniel Dubois actually got knocked out by him, while Anthony Joshua had 2 fights in a row go to decision. One was unanimous, one was split, but he lost both times. Anthony Joshua is a massive favorite, as you'd expect. He's minus 425. Daniel Dubois plus 320. What I'm seeing in this one is we're going to see a banger, and it's probably going to end by KO. Win or lose, Daniel Dubois has won by win or lose by KO. All of Daniel Dubois' fights have gone to knockout or TKO since 2019. So I think someone's getting rocked. Yeah, I'd probably bet on Anthony, but honestly, I probably would not bet on Anthony. I think he's going to win, but I would sprinkle a little bit on Daniel Dubois just because there's better value there. But I'm staying away from this fight. I don't really care for it.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting because Dubois, the way he lost to Usyk, there was some controversy about it because there was a low blow where Dubois hit Usyk with a gut punch, and Usyk dropped like it was a low blow that it got him, in the square and the beans, and it looked like it might have been some acting on, like Usyk might have gotten hit by a body shot and gotten away with some acting, where Daniel Dubois genuinely feels like he should have won by TKO because of the body shot, because Usyk went down, but the ref said that it was a low blow. That being said, in the it's hard to go off of Joshua's last fight because he knocked out Francis Ngannou, who's not a true boxer. But Joshua has looked so good in his last few fights, like so good. It seems like he's taken a step forward. So I do think there is some value here. I would never bet money line on this one. I don't really think Dubois is worth throwing any money on. Maybe a sprinkle, it would be fine. But Joshua to win and getting over 1.5 knockdowns, I would consider. But like the odds are plus 120. That's the best you're going to get. Like otherwise, by knockout, it's minus 230, I think, or something like that. And then,
yeah.
But to win and have over 1.5 knockdowns is plus 120. That's the only bet that like makes any sense to me. And like, you're not getting enough juice to really even throw money on it. So I'm just going to pass.
Yeah. No, it's how boxing goes. One massive favorite, one massive underdog. It's never worth betting on.
You could bet on Callum Walsh this weekend, though. Dana White's prodigy. Dana White's been promoting him on UFC Fight Pass. He is a minus 1,200 favorite, Adam.
Yeah.
On UFC Fight Pass, minus 1,200. So
crazy.
That's where boxing's at right now.
It's where boxing has always been at.
Yeah.
But anyway, UFC 306 live at the Sphere. It was absolutely incredible. So the way the Sphere is built, there's about 10, 15 rows in the back of the 100 sections that are completely blocked off. Not completely. You basically can't see like the top half of the Sphere. And I was in those 10, 15 rows, which was unfortunate. I had a great view of the octagon. That was fun. But couldn't see the entire Sphere. I got to go up a few times and I saw 2 out of the 5 movies like fully. And then the other 3 I like partially saw. So it is what it is. I still had a great time. But it was, wow, it was so incredible what they did. It's almost a shame that the fights didn't live up to par to the card, you know? And I know there was a few fights that did, you know, like we mentioned at the beginning of the episode, Esteban Ribovic, that fight definitely lived up to the hype. I think Ronaldo Rodriguez fight lived up to the hype, even though I went to decision. I was expecting a knockout in both of those fights.
It was an insane fight, to be honest. That first round was crazy.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So that was crazy. Norma Dumont and Ronaldana, another crazy fight. That was probably one of the nastiest cuts we've ever seen.
It's probably the nastiest in history. It's disgusting.
I saw like a close up of like them like playing. Oh, it was disgusting. But with the flap. Yeah. Like, oh my God, horrible. Rowe, it seemed like a lot of the fights that people like were really excited for didn't do well. You know, like obviously OMalley Merab, OMalley winning 2 rounds, it's kind of a stretch, but I can see it. What's it called? Merab, the way he went into it, like it was what you expect. You know, it was like there was 2 options for both fights. It was either OMalley was going to piece up Merab and Grasso was going to piece up Shevchenko, or vice versa, where Shevchenko was going to grapple the entire time and just kind of hang in there, and Merab was going to grapple the entire time and just hang in there. And that's what happened. And it was just like the worst of the 2 outcomes both times, you know. Even the Raul Rosas fight was like pretty meh, I'd say.
Yeah. I do have a take on the Merab fight, but first, before we do that, I just want to give a little shout out to our friends over at DraftKings. We'll be back to the video in just a second, but first, the NFL season is in full swing, and we've partnered up with DraftKings, an official partner of the NFL, to bring an amazing offer where right now, new DraftKings customers who sign up using promo code INSIDEFIGHTING can bet $5 and receive $200 in bonus bets instantly. Did you do any sports betting when you were there, by the way? I know that you have all the sports. Yeah.
Yeah, I was, you know what? That was like, it ruined my night, dude.
Yeah. That'll happen. Yeah.
So we had about 2,000 total bet on the fights. I had a few parlays. I had OMalley straight up money line, and I had Grasso straight up money line as well. And I wish I hedged the rest of my bets. I had a 7-leg parlay and I went 5 for 7. And the 2 fights I lost were Grasso and OMalley. So like there's one thing when that happens and you're at home with your friends.
Yeah.
It's a different feeling where you're
by
live
yourself.
at the event. Yeah. Well, okay. 1, I was by myself, but 2, even more important, when you get like UFC fans are a different breed. We're all degenerate gamblers. You know, and especially when you go to an event that's $1,000 minimum per ticket, right? Everyone there can afford to be a degen gambler. And what happened is like as soon as I got there, so there was a couple to my right, a couple to my left, and there was a group of 9 guys in front of me who were all friends, and I became friends with everyone around me.
Oh,
And
okay.
we basically and the group of 9 guys had like, from my understanding, like 10K plus in bets. The guys beside me had a couple thousand. The guys beside the other side didn't have anything. But long story short is we were all talking about the different parlays we have, and we were all talking about everything we had, and everyone's parlays crashed like earlier on. Like the group of 9 guys in front of me, their parlays crashed in the prelims. The other guys beside me had a couple like straight up money lines hit, but no parlays going for them. But me, on the other hand, I was 5 for 5 up until Grasso. So everyone is with me. Everyone is cheering me on. Everybody knows my business. And then it just hits and you're like, and everyone's upset with you, you know?
Yeah.
So it's just
then,
like,
because then they're gonna want you to take them out. You know what I mean?
yeah,
they're gonna be like, Adam, he's got like 20 G's.
Yeah, so it would have been a
Yeah.
great time, but yeah, so that was unfortunate, and it was just so dumb. Like I should have hedged my bets. I should have put straight up money lines on all the guys I had in my parlays. Like I had Ribovic in there; that was 2-1 odds. You know.
Well, that was the best pick, I think, because I saw some comments on our Instagram about that pick that people were like, "Oh, that Zell Huber's going to piece him up," and I was like, "I don't know." We talked about that on this show last week, and I thought that was like maybe one of the best value picks on the card was Ribovic, and he was great. He was split decision, but he was great. Well, I'm sorry that didn't work out for you.
It is what it is. It is what it is.
But to go back to the Merab fight, I thought Merab was going to win. I didn't think it was going to be like that. I know that like OMalley has said that he has no excuses, but apparently he did have a torn labrum and he's getting surgery. So that's, a big part of why he looked the way that he did. But I also think that Merab was just kind of flawless in everything that he did.
Yeah.
That if I don't know what those scorecards were about, but there were 247, 48, 47 scorecards. And as I was watching that fight, I don't remember OMalley like landing a single meaningful punch until the final round. And those were like those kicks to the gut on Merab. Yeah. I don't know how he won 2 rounds in that fight. I mean, maybe I'm wrong, but I honestly had it a clean sweep up until OMalley, maybe like the last 2 minutes of that fight.
Yeah, like I could give him the 5th round, but I also like watching it live. And sometimes you have to rewatch it to like really get a good grip on it. But like watching it live, in my head, I was like 50-45 is what it felt like, dude. Like it really felt like that. Again, the 5th round, I understand him winning, but yeah, it was a tough fight. There was something about Merab which like I haven't really like seen in other fighters before, and it was just like the way he launched for the takedown. He like, and not by like, because he does that thing where he kind of gets slow and he like runs at you low to take you down, right? And tries to like grapple you like that. But I mean, like when he's got you in the clinch, he would like shoot up and like slam you down. And not many fighters do it like that, but he was able to do that to Sean over and over and over again. And yeah, he looked really good that night. It was boring, but he looked good.
It reminded me, I know it's like sounds a little cliche to make this comp, but it did remind me a little bit of Khabib. And what I mean by that is like with Merab, where I thought he was giving OMalley a lot of trouble, was like, this is the value of constantly throwing movement at your opponent, like just constantly kind of like moving, is that like your opponent just never really knows how to like figure out your timing, right? You never really knows when you're going to shoot or whatever. And Khabib was like the master of that, because he just always did this with his hands. He was always moving, and then he would either go for the takedown or he would throw his overhand right. And it was just hard to figure out what you were doing. I thought Merab kind of did that to perfection in that fight, and OMalley just could never figure out his timing. But his punches also looked like really slow and didn't have a lot of snap. So maybe the labrum thing is real. But I did appreciate the fact that he didn't make any excuses. I thought that was like a kind of a class move by OMalley.
Yeah, I feel like that's how OMalley moves though. Like he'll talk his shit, but when it comes to like fighting, like he knows, he's like very transparent about how he feels with stuff like that.
Yeah, except for the past 4 years, he said that first Cheeto Vera fight doesn't count as a loss. So I mean, it's like,
Yeah, but I think he really believes that.
Yeah, that's probably true. Yeah, that's probably true.
Like I don't even think he's doing that to just like piss Cheeto off. Like I think he genuinely believes that Cheeto didn't hurt him and he was hurt going into the fight, and that's why he got injured, not because of Cheeto.
Yeah. Either way, I think Merab is like was awesome. A lot of MMA fans saying it was like boring, which it was, but like unfortunately, this is MMA. It's not Muay Thai. You know, this is what you're going to get sometimes.
I know. It just like, yeah, it just makes you question like where the sport's going, you know?
Yeah. Do you think there's a problem right now? Because I've seen that a lot. Do you
Yeah.
think there's like a champion problem where we have Bilal, we have Merab, we have God, who else are the champions? We
Well,
have
people toss DDP into that mix, but I don't agree with tossing DDP in there.
yeah,
He's not in the same bracket as Bilal and Merab. But yeah, no, like those two guys are it. I'd say like for those types of champions, you know, you can't really say the same about Islam just because he's so like well rounded and he will stand up with you if
dude.
you want to.
Islam is
Um,
super exciting. I don't
yeah,
get that at all. Like Taporia is an awesome champion.
yeah, Topuria is a
Um,
great champ.
DDP is exciting. I think there's a lot of he's an exciting fighter. You never get a boring DDP fight. Like show me a fucking boring DDP fight, and you won't be able to find it. I just think that's
Yeah.
like two guys won recently. It's a lot of recency bias right now. Bilal won, and then Izzy lost, and then now Merab wins back to back to back, and everybody's freaking out. Everything's fine, guys. Everything's okay.
I know. I think it's mainly to do with the fact that it's in like two beloved divisions, you
Yeah.
know, and that's the thing. Like those are divisions people enjoy watching guys fight in, and yeah, you just got two shitty champions. It's not great, but what can you do? You know, it is what it is, I guess.
Do you think it's is it Umar for Merab next? Is that the fight to make, Umar Merab? People are throwing Figgy in there as a possibility. I don't know. What do you think?
Honestly, I was watching Merab talk about it, and I couldn't agree with him more. I genuinely don't know what Umar has done to deserve a title shot. He's been one guy, like one
Yeah.
like top guy, you know? Like since when is beating one top 15? And that, fair. This guy was he was number 2 at the time, so I get it. But since when is beating that guy like automatically shoots you all the way up, you know? I don't know. It's tough. I like the Figgy fight a lot more. Like I think that's a much more exciting fight. But Umar will get his shot. I think, yeah.
I think it's going to be Umar. I think that this is like the same thing. I mean, like if we're going to get mad about Umar getting a shot, we have to get mad about OMalley getting a shot. I mean, OMalley beat Jan. He beat Cheeto controversially, but that was way before Cheeto was a thing. He was before he was a ranked bantamweight. You know, so we can't really count that the same way. OMalley controversially beat Jan in a split decision and then immediately got Aljamain. So I guess we kind of have to
Yeah.
look
My,
at
my
it that way too, I
My
guess.
one caveat to that is when you have a fighter who can provide marketing and branding, that plays a role,
You add a premium to that. Yeah, I gotcha.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So when you have a guy like Sean who beats a top ranked guy, it's like, okay, well, people love him. Let's give him a title shot. We just want to see it, you know? So I understand that aspect. Like Umar, the only like, and I think that's actually the same when Umar's getting a title shot is because he has that, like, because of Habib, they're like, oh, it's the next Habib, you
Yeah,
know?
he's massive.
And exactly. But at the same time, it's just like, it just feels too soon. And he doesn't have that marketability that Sean had. So I don't know. I
Yeah,
don't love
I
it. I
still
don't
think
hate
it's
it.
probably the fight they make though, and I do think the UFC wants to do OMalley versus Umar. Like, I do think that's a fight that they want to make at some point. So, but this does open the door for OMalley versus Sandhagen, which is the
Yeah.
fight all the fans want to see. But the problem with that is if O'Malley is going to be out 9 to 10 months, like he says, I don't see Sandhagen waiting that long for that fight. So we might actually not get
Well,
that.
I forget where it was, but Ali Abdelaziz, who manages Umar, and I don't think he manages Merab, but he was saying that Umar is the next fight, and that if Umar wins, he's going to give a title shot directly to Sean, and that he believes Sean deserves his next fight to be a title shot.
I'd be
So
fine with that too.
I'd be cool with that too. Yeah.
Yeah.
Again, it's the marketability. He only had one title defense, right? But because it's Sean O'Malley, he deserves to be up there. He's like the new Connor, right? He deserves to be in that
Dude,
conversation at all times.
everything is timing. Everything is
Yeah.
timing. It's not always what makes the most sense at the time. It's what's there at the time. You know, it's like how
Yeah.
Steve Erceg gets a title shot. It's just what was there, and it's like there are like 5 different possibilities, and any one of them could happen. But if that one happened, I'd be fine with it too. So we'll see.
Yeah. Like we're probably gonna see, like if Umar gets the shot, we're probably gonna see Figgy versus Sandhagen, because you're right. I don't think Sandhagen's waiting 7-9 months. Is that fair to say for the next title shot? Or you don't think so?
Like a title eliminator, Figgy Sandhagen.
Yeah.
That's possible. I mean, he also lost to Umars, so that's another thing.
Yeah, I guess so. It'd be more so eliminator for
Figgy.
For Figgy at that point. Yeah. Where Sandhagen might need to win one more to be able to do that.
Yeah.
And that opens up OMalley Sandhagen again, right? If that was the trajectory, but who knows?
Yeah.
Lot can happen. A lot of moving pieces. But anyway, let's quickly touch on 307. I know it's still a little bit away. It's coming up on October 5th. So it's literally like 2 weeks away, 3 weeks away. So again, not as long as people seem to think. Alex Pereira, Khalil Roundtree. You know what? Let's leave that one for last because I think that's the most exciting fight on there. You have in the prelim that I thought this was interesting. You have Jose Aldo in the prelim versus Mario Bautista, and you also have Wonder Boy versus Joaquin Buckley at the moment.
Those are prelims?
Yeah.
No way.
Yeah. That's at least it's on Google like that. I have to check UFC.com.
Oh, wow. You're right. So here's what's going to happen. Aljamain Sterling just backed out of the Movsar fight. So if Movsar doesn't get, I'm guessing Movsar is going to get like a short notice replacement opponent. That fight might get moved down, which is crazy because that's like a title eliminator fight for Movsar.
Yeah. Oh, you know what? On the UFC's website, it's all over the place right now. On UFC's website right now, you have Pereira Roundtree main event. Co-main is Pennington Pena.
Yeah.
Feature fight is Wonder Boy Buckley, which is weird because I just saw a video earlier today by Buckley talking about him being on the prelims. So maybe
I think they just moved it up with the news about Aljo. I have a feeling that's what happened.
Interesting. Yeah. Maybe that's it. Yeah, because they have Mozart, Aljo. I think this will be the feature prelim.
Yeah. So, no, I mean, it's actually that there are some good fights on that card. It's funny
you also have Holland versus Roman Dolidze.
There's an argument for the co-main event to be the feature prelim. I mean, I know it sucks to say, and it's a title fight, but that's how that fight is taking up a lot of air on that card. That's like, unfortunately, gonna move a probably better fight down, even though this is more of an important fight. So, Pena versus Pennington is going to be one of the worst title fights ever. I'm just going to be honest.
100%.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it's exciting because, well, I think you have like Dolidze lost to Anthony Smith recently, right? That's what it was. But everybody thought he was going to win.
No, I think Dolidze. Did Dolidze lose that fight? I don't remember.
No, he won.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay. Yeah, he beat Smith.
Yeah. I don't know why I felt like he lost recently. Maybe I'm wrong. No,
he lost to what's his name? The Russian middleweight, Imavov. He lost to Imavov.
That's what it was. But yeah, anyway, that's going to be an interesting fight. I think. Just like it should be somewhat interesting. I think the Jose Aldo fight, like seeing him, he won his last fight, so seeing him kind of come back and make another run for it is like a fun prospect for people. I personally really like watching Joaquin Buckley fight. Everybody loves Wonder Boy as well, so I think that's gonna be a fun fight as well.
Yeah, we have a Wonder Boy fight coming. When people see this, I think it'll be out on our channel. An interview with Wonder Boy talking about his fight with Buckley, and it's a really good. I mean, this is like make or break for Buckley too, to really enter like potential star power. Where he's going to be fighting for titles because he's kind of become like he's really entertaining. I mean, he's really entertaining. He got a lot of shine at UFC St. Louis, and then fans kind of turned on him when he called out Conor McGregor because it was like that was such a ridiculous call out. Yeah. This is his chance to sort of like redeem it, beat a long-standing veteran like Wonder Boy, and then he's in title eliminator contention, and I think that's a good place to be. So.
Yeah, 100%. And then I love the Pereira and Roundtree matchup.
Yeah, it's awesome.
I think it's great. People were giving it a lot of hate. I think I know you're a big Yuri fan. I know a lot of people are Jamal Hill fans, but like I never really felt too confident on their odds versus Pereira. But this is like Roundtree is the type of guy to beat him. Like this is the type of matchup that they're going to fucking war, dude. And I think he stands every chance to beat him. I don't think he should be a 3-1 underdog, but I understand why he's a 3-1 underdog.
And I actually think, I know that he said, I don't want to give away too much of my take, but I know that Roundtree said that he wants to stand and bang, because that's what everybody's saying about Pereira nowadays. Is like, it's that they have like this aversion to grappling with Pereira because they want to prove that they can like knock him out. You know, the best striker ever, maybe in the history of the UFC. He might be at this point. He might be like the best striker ever. So people want to stand and bang and prove that they can beat him. I actually think there's a chance Roundtree is gonna try and take him down and really put that to the test, because the only person at light heavyweight so far who's really given Pereira any trouble at all has been Jan Blachowicz. And what did Blachowicz do? He took him down. And guess where that fight was, Adam?
Where was that fight?
Salt Lake City, where he was taking down Pereira. It was only a 3-round fight. It was controversial, split decision win for Pereira, but that's the way to beat him. And I have a feeling we might see Roundtree do that, mixed in with some like crazy stand-up brawling. I think we're going to see kind of a little bit of everything in this fight. And I think Roundtree is a very, very live dog in that fight.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, we'll have to see. I think, like, I'm looking at the stats right now, and it looks like Roundtree has 0 grappling history.
He doesn't. I'm just saying, I think that he'll implement it. I think that you've just come off of Jamal Hill and Prohaska getting brutally knocked out. Like, you have to implement some sort of a strategy of grappling into this fight, some sort of wrestling into this fight. I also just want to throw in one thing in there about Roundtree, which is going to be mentioned in the video that I release in a week or two. He's an amazing story. His dad was a bouncer. His dad was a security for the band Boys to Men back in the 90s, and he was there was a botched robbery on set of like a music video shoot or something, and his father was killed in a botched robbery. He went through like serious depression in his teen years. He ballooned up. He weighed like 300 pounds when he was 19 years old. He was just like, he was like bordering on death's door. He was like contemplating suicide. He was taking drugs. He was like smoking a lot and drinking a lot. And then him and his brother just started watching MMA on TV, and he fell in love with it. And he just kind of like reinvented his life. And now he's here fighting Alex Pereira for like a championship on pay-per-view. And I just think it's a pretty dope story, and he's worth, if you don't know about it, go look into it, because he's actually got a good story.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Yeah, no, I'm excited for the fight. I think it'll be great. You want to give your take on it real quick, or?
I mean, I'm leaning Pereira, but I'll see where I'm at in the coming weeks. I mean, I think it's I think that there are some really good opportunities to make value on Roundtree. For sure. Like, no question. I think that he's being undervalued. I think it's more of a coin flip, if I'm being honest.
Yeah.
But I'm still leaning Pereira, but like, I think that the odds are incorrect.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. I don't think there's enough proof for the odds to be different, but it's like a gut feeling that the odds should be different. Like, that's what it feels like. But yeah, we'll have to wait and see. Anyways, it's been great chatting, brother. I think that's good time to wrap it there.
Yeah.
We'll see you guys next Thursday. Jesse, if he joins me, he might be live from France, or I don't know where he'll be at that point.
I'll be in Central France if I do come on. I'll be in the Loire Valley, but if not, we'll have a special guest.
Yeah, we might have a surprise guest. So we'll see. We'll keep it TBD. But as always, Jesse, appreciate you, brother, and have a good trip, man.
Thank you, brother. Appreciate it.